was me. If you were tuning in hoping to see somebody else, sorry. Wasn't planning on doing a video today, but then I thought, oh, it's been a little while, I think. Honestly, don't remember. Probably last weekend. Today we are using Euphoros soap, Park Avenue, which I don't keep up with this stuff. At the time, it was a Pasteur's Pharmacy. Can you see that? Actually from Pasteur's. Back before you could just, they didn't have a good website a couple of years ago. Wasn't exclusive. Might still be, which makes me I'm a pretty big deal. You know why? Because I'm sponsored by See, Dave, I need a better sign. I'm sponsored by Hombres. See? Hombres. The sweetest barber shop in any retirement community. So I don't remember if I said on my last video, we're going on a cruise. We're going on a Disney cruise. You know who? Just my wife and I. Because we're baller like that. That's why we don't care. No. Actually, I won't get into too much of it because I would lose viewers, and this is just YouTube. It's not Days of Our Lives, but it's been a very, very hard time for me last few weeks, and I told her I need a break, mental break. Somehow, somewhere, it's got to happen. Spring break is coming up, and everybody laughs, kind of like, almost like maybe it's irresponsible, but we're taking the kids' school break when they can be cared for by other people, and her and I are going on a cruise alone. It's important. That's why it's happening. So I'm looking, oh, here, let me show you. This is baller too. If you're a professional shaver, you can do things like this. This is the Blackland Vector head on the Holy Black SR71 beefy, manly sized handle. It adds a lot of heft to this little sissy old razor head here, which has very beautiful not ergonomics. What would you call that? I don't know. It's designed well. It gives you, what's the word for that? Engineering, except there's a better word to use. Anyway. It's a great, great head. Especially if you're somebody that can't grow a goatee and you need to shave this area. It's nice and thin. We're not going to shave there, but I'll show you how easily it fits there. But it's just it's so light, and the handle it comes with is so light. So those of us that like a little heft. Anyway, it's funny because, well, I don't know where this conversation is going to go. I'm just going to mention about we're going to go on a cruise, and I'm excited about it. And it's now something, even just as soon as we reserved it, it was kind of like a little bit of relief, kind of like there's something to look forward to. Everything we've planned and been, anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. And it's funny, so I watched some YouTube cruiser people. Of course, anything you can do, somebody's got a YouTube channel about it. And so I was going to say, I'm not going to talk about COVID today. And just as I was preparing for the shave, I was watching some dude talking about his last cruise. And it was to complain about people that were just belligerent and are going to ruin cruising for everybody because of the COVID stuff. Like, I guess we can't escape that yet. I'm just stupids. And I don't have a problem saying these people are just stupid. If you, just like the people on the plane, you know you have to wear a mask. And then you get on there and refuse to do it, full well knowing that that's an expectation to be able to do that. I guess, anyway, a few of those things happened on his cruise, and it's just like... So anyway, The only bummer is it's a very, very short cruise for us. Most of our cruises have been the week-long ones or longer. And I dig that because for me it takes a couple days to get into the cruise, just chill, relax kind of groove where you kind of, you're gotten, especially if you haven't been on the ship, you're kind of finding your way around, seeing what's there, looking at all the activities. You don't want to miss out on anything. And then after a couple days, you're kind of like, all right, I've seen what there is to see. I mean, not that there isn't ever a lot of stuff going on, but that's when I can feel like, okay, I don't feel like I need to get up as soon as I wake up. And that's been, a lot of times that's my thing, is wake up at 5 a.m. You get your booty out of bed, you got the ship to yourself. Whether it's not, you just want to watch the sunrise, which by that time, there's always a few people out on deck, but you can, if you want to do that by yourself. But always tons of places you can go where there's nobody to watch the sunrise. Did I say sunset before? But also, like, if you want nice pictures of the ship with nobody in them, or you're not getting in anybody's way, that's an excellent time. They don't lock the doors to the theaters or bars or things. It doesn't say stay out. I don't know probably if I were to, I'm sure they have security cameras everywhere, so if you were just to hang out in a closed bar that had its doors shut, but sometimes I'll open a door, walk in, spend 30 seconds in there getting a few photos and leave. Never had an issue. See some interesting things, the upkeep of the ship. Anyway, so my big job for this cruise is to try to get into that mindset immediately. Just when it will help. We've been on this ship before. This is just out of San Diego. Only 2 stops, so it's 4 nights. So you'd say 5 days, but it's really not 5 days. Because if you've ever been on a cruise, earliest you're getting on is around lunchtime the first day. Nothing's open. Yes, you get to, if you're a swimmer, a lot of people who bring kids into swimming come prepared to do that, because usually your rooms aren't ready, so they got their swimsuits with them and you can swim right away. But like the stores aren't open and they're not doing any entertainment yet, and because people are still getting on and all the staff is dealing with cleaning the rooms and moving the luggage, and turnover day they call it. Then usually it's about like all aboard is like 4 p.m. Then you have some kind of sail away thing, and then you have dinner. So you kind of just, I would say you just kind of have late afternoon, evening for like enjoying the cruise that first day. And then the last day, your butt is booted off that thing early in the morning. So anyway, we got 3 days. 1 sea day, 1 day at Ensenada, and 1 day at Catalina, which is kind of funny because we've been to both places actually. But Catalina, you just get we went there my 40th birthday, I think. Not that far away from San Diego. I know we flew down and then you just take a ferry over, and a high-speed ferry is like 45 minutes or an hour. So it's kind of funny that, you get on this cruise ship and then your first port you can kind of see from land anyway. But that's cool. That's cool, and that'll be good because that's the first day we're stopping at Catalina. We've been there. If you've never been there, the town the town proper is very small. We've already done the tours where you go on like a 4x4 around the place and see the whole island and all that stuff. So we'll just get off and look in the shops and stuff, and then we'll get back on the boat and just, that's a great time to enjoy the boat too, because usually when you're at a stop, most of the people are off the boat, so off the ship, so you have the place to yourself. If there's No Name Lemon Toner. And then Ensenada, we're doing a tour of wine country, which, I don't have high expectations for the wine, but again, just to get off the ship, do something, that'll be interesting. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Just fingers crossed. So the deal is that you have to be fully vaxxed if you're able to be. No, and that's by age. No, they don't take exemptions or anything. And then you have to test at port before you get on the ship. 2 to 1. So the deal, I'm, looking, we reserved the thing. The next day I'm like, filling out, trying to find the requirements of, all the COVID stuff. And the deal is, and I knew this, is that I realized that, you can be positive for many months after you have COVID. And my wife and I had it very early on in January. So you have 90 days where you get a letter from your doctor saying you had it, you're recovered, you're healthy to travel, and you don't have to test. I thought, bingo, we'll just do that. But for the cruise line, you have to show proof that you were positive, which I guess makes sense because anybody could just say, oh, I was positive, don't test me. The trouble is that even though we took a lot of official tests, the one where we were positive was just a home test. Because we were told, hey, if you test positive with that, you're positive. There's no reason to go get another test. And that made sense at the time, but now we don't have proof. So little bit of a freak out that day. We ran and got tested as soon as I found out, because I thought, well, if we test positive, then we still have the 14-day quarantine or whatever it is now, and can get a letter from the doctor, and then things will be fine. But we were negative. So we should be fine. But it is just that, knowing that you're there, knowing that you're going to swab, knowing sometimes tests aren't 100% accurate, and knowing that your entire trip is based on that coming back right before, you've already checked in. You paid, you've flown there, and you're just waiting. Anyway, so looking forward to that. What are we gonna, we're only 13 minutes in. You see how good a razor this is if you add some weight to it? Come on, guys. I was gonna tell you I'm fixing a watch. I'm fixing my first watch. I don't have time for that. I had a cracked crystal on a watch. And I watched some videos, had some tools, ended up, see, where is Gear Noir? This is what happened to his videos. He got done doing what he was doing and he didn't care. He would just sit here and have a moment with you. Gear stole my moments, Mr. Noir. Yeah, so I have some very basic tools I got so that I could size the watches, and I could replace batteries, and all this stuff. And so I decided I'm very interested in fixing watches, but the amount of tools it takes is insane. I think I mentioned this before. We've got time, so we're going to do the Paraso talc. Bill, watch him on the Shaving Cadre. Has a talc cannon where you poof, and talc comes out. And apparently you're supposed to do it into a cloth or something, and they do that. But anyway, watch that. I just stick with this old-fashioned way. So what was I saying? Yeah, it's to actually get into watch repair where you can kind of fix any problem. Be very expensive tool-wise. But I took the back off of this thing. I watched enough videos, you know, you have to pull the crown and the stem out of the watch so you can get the watch movement out if you had to fix anything, but to replace the crystal, you can't have the movement in there. Come to find out, this watch has two different, I don't even know what they're called. They're like two dials, two separate time teller things that usually, you know, they're linked, and it's usually for two time zones, right? This one has two separate movements inside the watch, two complete independent movements. No problem. One of them, I watched enough videos, I could pull the crown and the stem out, no problem. The other one, they weren't the same. So go figure. They put two movements in this thing, but they're two different movements. I tried everything I could think of, and usually it's a either something you push that just releases a little lever that you can pull the crown out, or you have to unscrew it and pull it out. I tried everything that was a possibility on this other one, couldn't get it out. I'm like, well, if I'm gonna fix watches, I ought to be able to figure this out. So come out my screwdriver, I take a plate off. I thought I was just gonna undo two screws and take a plate off and be able to see what I need to do. Well, I took that plate off, and then this other stuff fell out, and the battery popped out. I did get it out. I did find the thing I need to push and pull it out. It was under that plate, which I've never seen on any video I watched before, so that's interesting. I had not cracked this. I mean, this crystal was busted. So I got the crystal out, and it was busted. So I couldn't even see what it kind of, excuse me, it looked like when it was new. So I'm guessing. I measured the thing. I ordered some other stuff to make watch repair a little bit easier. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty confident that, I don't think I'm getting the exact style of crystal that was in there, but that's fine. As long as it fits and it works, then I'll call this a victory. Getting the stuff back together, and the major components, I think I could, but I put everything kind of, I took the back of the watch and put all the little stuff in there. Man, if you have never worked on a watch, then those screws, they're like, I mean, don't talk about grains of sand, or rice. We're talking, you can't, they're tiny. You know, I put everything in there, and then on the table, I see this one tiny little brass fitting or something just laying there. So that obviously fell out with everything else. No clue where it came from. So we'll see. I might have a functioning watch with one of the mechanism working. So anyway, that's my update. Mentioned to Barber Dave, I wanted a Zoom call this weekend. Boom! Barber Dave. Watch him in your video, or go watch his videos. He's the sweetheart. Cause yeah, I look forward to them. Like I said, it's been not the best week for me, and that's kind of just a nice, just hanging out with the guys, you know, chewing the fat, as they said. We're old guys, so we still probably do that. If we all lived in the same place, we'd be the guys that meet in the diner and have some coffee and pie every Sunday afternoon or whatever. Anyway, if you're interested, come join the cadre. Sign up for the Sunday Zoom calls. See you on the forums.